Hello.
I don't think you're going to pick up then.
Oh no, I thought about it, but yeah.
uh, hello.
Hey,
This is the last one.
I know it's weird, isn't it? It's really weird.
Well, I'll tell you why it's like super weird for me
Mm.
is that this kind of feels like maybe this is the last calls. Do you know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
So this is the last call of the last calls.
It does feel like that. I mean, it really, yeah. I think it really feels
I'm
like
not. I'm not going through
that.
this again.
No.
It's been a fun year, but my word,
It's been a lot, isn't it?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Tired of seeing superheroes, like new villains being introduced and then going away.
Never seen again.
Never
Just,
seen
yeah.
again.
Characters referenced, and then also we don't know if we'll ever see them again.
Yeah,
Either.
references from things that I've not even seen.
Films where they introduce like 15 new characters.
And you wonder if it was all for tax benefits.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you how much Marvel calls has impacted my life, James.
Go on.
So a couple of days ago, Charlie was having an absolute meltdown. My youngest, 4 years old, proper tantrum. Harry went over to him, put his arm around him while he was kicking off, and went, "Sun's going down. Sun's going down."
Did it work though?
No, of course it
Oh,
fucking
that's a
didn't.
shame because that would have been really
If anything,
funny.
it wound him up even more. Sun's going down, Charlie. Sun's going
So
down.
what are you talking about? It's the middle of the day.
Well, I wasn't there. Joe told me about it, and
Yeah.
and when she told me, I was like, "What is that? What? Why was he saying sun's going
Yeah.
down?" And then she showed me that bit in Ragnarok, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, this is so good! This is so good." So
I mean,
now every
also-
time he has a tantrum, the whole family goes, "Sun's going down, Charlie."
I also like the way that he's merged two films into one as well. I heard, it's like it's Thor: Love and Thunder Ragnarok. It's like
He keeps saying. I keep asking him what Charlie's favorite film is, and he keeps saying "For Love and Thunder Ragnarok." So I don't know if he can't tell the difference, or I don't know what goes on in 4-year-olds' heads, man. It's if only we knew.
Awesome. Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to know, to be honest with you, because it would just wind me up. How are you doing? All right?
Yeah, not too bad. Not bad.
Ready to talk about the last film that we're doing?
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh my gosh!
When did you watch this? Just out of curiosity, like how recently?
There's a story. Well, right. So it was a tough one. We wouldn't have watched it this weekend had it not been for Marvel calls. Put it that way. We had lots going on. Jo was out on Friday. She really wanted to watch it. I said, well, we've got to get it done this weekend because we've now got rid of all of our floats. We are recording this on the 12th of February, 2023. So this goes out to the Patreon subscribers in 5 days' time. That's how close we are
kind
now.
of wrecked that, didn't we? Like we shouldn't have done that.
No, we shouldn't have done that. No, we shouldn't have done that. But it's a lot. It's a lot to get one podcast done a week, let alone 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So we sort of said, well, we've got to watch it this weekend. Jo was out Friday, so we started watching it. She said, just watch it. So me and Harry started watching it, and it is a long film.
It is,
and
quite
I was
long,
like, he's not getting through this. So we watched half of it Friday, and then the other half with Jo this morning.
That's the sensible thing to do, I really think. Like, I watched it in 3 parts, I think.
Oh,
actually, yeah.
Oh, God, I want to know
Over
where
several
that third
days.
part was.
Yeah.
Should we go for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, can I tell you what? I mean, I can tell you already. I mean, okay, I can tell you that the first time I saw this film, wasn't a massive fan. The first.
Did
time
you watch
I saw
it in the cinema?
Yes, I did.
This
Yeah,
is not a cinema film, man.
No, it's really not. And I watched it in the cinema with the kids as well, and they've loved all of this stuff, and they love Black Panther as well, like the first one. And their reaction was not entirely positive when we came out of that film. But then also, it was funny because I had such sort of because also when we were watching this in the cinema, there were people behind us who were laughing at every single joke. When people laugh too much.
Wait, hold on. What
about stuff.
jokes?
Exactly. There was
I
there
don't
was just
know if
like
there was any
there was
jokes in this, was there?
no there was just a couple of like funny lines or whatever, like there always is, but they were like properly pissing themselves, like laughing, and so that was actually starting to annoy me because I was sitting there just thinking that's not that funny. Like
Can
it's
I
all right, but it's
ask
not. Yeah, go
why
on.
we're going through the film like this? Is this how we're doing our last ever calls? You
Why
just
not?
say what you think right at the
I'm
start of
just giving you a build up to the. Oh,
Okay.
fine, go on, just get on with it. I won't
Well,
tell you.
because I mean, the stuff you've been saying leading up to this, as I said before on the calls, you've called it "Wakanda Goes On Forever" over and over and over again,
It's a
which
good
is a
joke.
line that
It's a good gag.
No, it's a gag that you've stolen from either Twitter or Rollmuck.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and you just keep repeating it. Sean wants to knock you out for some reason because I'm assuming Sean likes this film.
No, he's never seen it. He's never seen it
Oh
either.
right, why does he hate
Yeah.
you saying that then?
I
Well,
think
it
he
is a little bit shit. Like it's like when everyone started saying X-Bone.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It was
I think maybe I did the gag a bit too much. But then the thing about it though is that I was expecting though that the more it gets funnier eventually. Like it goes into that that whole thing of like it's kind of amusing to begin with, then it becomes rubbish, and then eventually it becomes really funny again.
It starts
but we
with
didn't
the
get to
funeral,
that.
mate. I was crying within 2
No,
minutes.
I meant
of
the
film.
joke. I meant the joke, not the film.
Oh, the the joke. Okay. Let's just get onto the film.
Go
okay.
on.
It's what's crazy about this is it's one of the longest films
Known to
there,
man.
and I've only got five pages of notes.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I said bittersweet this. Looking forward to returning to Wakanda Forever, but this is the last film. It's not the last film. We watched. I'll spoil this. We watched the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer.
Yeah.
After this, as you know, I've not been a massive fan of Ant-Man. Oh my god, that trailer! We're watching that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see that. That looks like it's fantastic. It's out at the end of the week, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, we're going to go and see it on Sunday next week.
Harry and I are
Rachel's
totally
birthday.
going to go and see it.
She can't wait.
Oh, I don't care. Harry and I, irrelevant
Thanks.
to the call, James.
Come on.
How old is she?
13.
Wow. You've got a teenage daughter, James.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You're going to be hearing that a lot.
She's already called me so embarrassing, like many times.
Oh yeah,
so
but I mean, yeah, that's different. She hasn't called you that because you're her dad. She's called you that because you.
Because of who I am. Is that what you're trying to say? That's not very. That's not very kind.
I said it to you loads, haven't I? You're so embarrassing.
No, you've never said that. That's quite unkind.
Oh, maybe I said that behind your back. Yeah, no. So yeah, but Harry is like, I want to watch that in the cinema. And I'm kind of like, actually, like, because I was thinking, oh, Ant-Man, who gives a shit? But then I watched that trailer and I was like, that looks incredible. Like, I'm well up for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, what's weird is that that's the first Marvel film that I can't just watch now for free on my Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Opens with Princess running into her lab. I've seen this bit twice now because before we watched the second half of it today, I ran Joe through the story so far, and we watched the whole intro again. And I cried again. I mean, my word, I said this is going to be rough. I can't imagine what the actors go through with this. It must just be so hard to film. And I think that was my biggest thought the first time I watched it, was, oh my God, they've got to act out a death and a funeral for someone they worked with on the previous film.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah, and also, I mean, in the background for this, there was a lot of like discussion, obviously, about whether how they were going to play this and like how they were going to continue, whether he was going to be replaced, with somebody else. And they obviously decided not to because they didn't think it would be it was too soon.
Oh no, they
the right
couldn't
thing
do
to
that.
have done.
No,
and you can't. Yeah, and the whole opening section of this film, I think, is brilliant. Like,
yeah,
I really
they do
think
it
it's
really,
brilliant.
really well. Really touching.
Yeah.
I said I held it the first time I watched it. I held it together. I mean, let's go. Right. Okay. Yeah. So now I'll tell you now. First time I watched it, I held it together until the Marvel logo.
Yeah.
And it was all...
And they do. It's just him, isn't it? The whole thing is him. Yeah.
Yeah. Just Chadwick Boseman across the whole lot. Loads of. Oh my God, I was in bits, which is crazy, right? Because I didn't know who he was like this time last year, and it's just such a sad story that it's I mean, it just got to me. I mean,
But also,
the past year, right?
Mm.
Grief has been a big subject in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
and the past year, I've looked at that. I don't know if it's called emotion or trauma. I don't know how it's described, but I just go, "Wow, that's strong." Because unlike other emotions or trauma, I suppose no, not trauma. I suppose it is a trauma, right? Because it is like, it's never ending.
Yeah.
But you don't look. What we're at a stage with now, with Joe's mum who passed away, less than a year ago.
Yeah.
Is that we're looking at it and just going, this is never going to end now. This feeling of this big hole in our lives is never going to end.
It's just, I guess it's kind of like it won't, but it will change like over time. Like the feeling will maybe change a bit, but it's like, it's
never going to
always going to be there. Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, man. And then looking at this, I just think, however big or small that hole is, it doesn't matter. You know, everyone's affected in different ways and all that. But you look at this and you've got a bunch of actors standing around talking, because they're not thinking about the fucking character, are they?
Yeah.
You know, they're not thinking about King T'Challa. They're sitting there, they're thinking about, Chadwick. And that's who they're thinking about in those scenes. And I just think, fuck me, how do you get through that? Like, how do you get through it? It must be so tough.
And that's what they said. Like when I was reading, like some of the, talking with the actors, about the process of doing this, and they said, even just going into like the throne room and like seeing that, and then you're just like,
where is he?
Think of him. Yeah, you think of him. Like, where is he?
It's tough, man.
I think tough. And also, I think he really like hung over this film, like obviously from the beginning, with the thing, but I think in general as well.
I don't know if he did, in fact, actually, I wouldn't agree with that for me personally. I mean, everyone will see this differently, I think. But for me, I kind of thought that actually they moved on quite quickly. It was just the end where I kind of thought,
but that's the thing though, because at the end they did what they did.
Yeah.
And then that hit me more actually at the end.
Oh, see, that didn't hit me anywhere near as much as
really?
This really fucking hit me. And okay, we'll get to the ending later. But so when the Queen walks in, I'm sorry, character names they're not sticking with me at this point. I've seen 7 billion characters, so a few times I refer to the Queen and the Princess. So I apologise for this. But yes, so. You later find out that what she's trying... Are you supposed to know what she's doing in that lab at that time, at the beginning?
No, I don't... Well...
Because you later find out that she's working in the lab to try and recreate the plant stuff.
All you know at that point, I think, is that obviously other people are going to be like, well, yeah, obviously she's doing this. But no, I thought it was...
She's just looking for a
save
cure.
His life.
Yeah, that's what I put. Yeah, I put tried to save his life. Yeah. Right, okay, yeah, when the Queen walks in, just announces death, oh my god, that was when the heart in the throat thing happened. Harry's asking why they're having a party at the funeral, and actually, it was a really good place to stop and just talk about how different cultures view death. It's funny that, because I've always, again, going through, my brain's been constantly on this for nearly a year now, and going through other cultures, and I said, oh, actually, the way other cultures deal with death, like when they see it as a celebration of life rather than mourning for a death, is like, yeah, that's a better way of doing it, isn't it? But now I don't know. Because
that's the thing, because maybe that is for some people, but not everyone maybe feels that way.
So if someone's like incredibly upset, the last thing they want to do is like dance, I don't know.
I'd be worried about. I don't know, obviously, but it's like I'd be worried about like the pressure to feel that you've got to do that when maybe you don't feel that. It's like
it's crazy, isn't it? There's no right or wrong way. But
exactly, it's different for everybody.
It was interesting talking to Harry about it though, because he doesn't even really know. He's never been to a funeral or anything, so he doesn't know what any of that's like. But it was a good point of discussion anyway at this stage of the film. Again, I can't get over how hard this must have been for the actors. Marvel logo, silence, just clips of Chadwick Boseman. Okay, that totally done me. Did you cry?
No, I didn't, but I felt very strong feelings from this.
What's going on? So, I just blub at films like constantly. I don't get it with games. I don't get it with books.
I don't either.
I don't read books. But I don't. But for some reason, films, I don't really get it with TV shows.
No, okay, let's be real here, as it were, for a moment with this.
Oh.
I very rarely like cry at things. Like that. I tell you what does make me cry though is music. I sometimes cry at music.
I don't cry at music.
I sometimes get that like
man up.
but like TV and things like that, not so much. Although sometimes there are things which hit me. This was one of those things, but it was still not.
You watched loads of Pixar films for the pod last couple of years ago.
I did, yeah.
Not one of those made you cry.
No, and they don't.
Oh my god, how?
But it's because the thing is I can't talk about this because people will just think I'm weird. It's no,
I don't think so. It's just like
no, because what it is I find it like. Usually it's
I think you can say I find it for sort of less of a man would do that. Actually, that's people will find me weird for thinking that you're not a real man if you cry.
Yeah.
But 2023, this woke day and age, James?
Yeah.
No, God, sorry, what you said.
No,
what are you talking about?
It's what it is usually it's things that I'm not expecting is going to make me like cry, like things that sort of the Pixar films, I really like them. I think they're brilliant, right? But also to me, when I watch them, I feel like they're setting me up to feel like this, and then I find it more difficult to feel that because to me it feels obvious that they're being set up in that way.
But but that's what films do. They set you up to feel emotions.
I know, but exactly, and they do make me feel emotions. But then the stronger reaction I have is when things come out of like left field, so stuff that I'm not expecting, and that's when usually I get touched more, by something like that.
Right. This fucking hit me like a ton of bricks, man. And Harry's just totally used to seeing his dad crying at films now.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even do it. He was a big crier when he was younger,
mm-hmm.
and he just don't do it no more. And everyone's just looking at me blubbing away. Joe even turned around. I watched it the second time this morning, showing Joe, and she was just, "Why are you crying again?" I was like,
she looked at you. She's like, "What's wrong with you?"
She was the one that was like, "You didn't know he existed not too long ago, and now you're mourning him." It's so weird.
Yeah. But no, it was really, really well done though, I thought. And also, like when they're doing the parade like through the street, and there's that massive like mural of him as well.
Oh god, yeah, don't even start
great.
with me, Jesus. Yeah. And then you see it in the background as he's getting beamed up to space, which was a bit weird. But other than that, fine. I put 1 year later. Okay. Queen Ramonda? Have I just guessed her name at this point? What was her name?
No, it's Queen Ramonda.
Oh, Ramonda. Yeah, okay, right. I'll go right. Queen Ramonda getting an earful for not sharing vibranium. So this is the big. What are they? What's that group called?
It's supposed to be like United Nations.
Yeah, it's just the UN, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where I sit with this. I don't get here we go. Both sides have a point here. They should be sharing it, but Wakanda has had it for years without issue, and that would change if it was available to everyone, right? So they made the point that if the whole world had access to it, there'd be more wars, there'd be more. It's not a good thing for everyone to have it.
Yeah, but that's like saying it only has military applications.
Well, there's that, right? And there's also the fact that it's like, okay, but Wakanda's made that decision and no one else has. How is that? How's that work? And then I saying that, there was a black market for vibranium at one point, so it wasn't that safe.
Yeah, that's true.
Wasn't it? They were all trading it in the black market. So I'm kind of like, I don't know where I sit with this stuff, to be honest with you. And I don't know why they took this angle. I think they tried to show her here as a hardened queen. Now she'd lost her son.
Yeah.
Like she was more closed down at this point, right?
Yeah, and because she was still trying to, present the front of trying to like protect the kingdom, wasn't it? The fact that everyone knows the Black Panther's gone, and so she has to show how they're still strong, and no one's going to come and take whatever they want from it.
So while this is going on, or you're led to believe while it's going on, but isn't, it's a flashback. There's a Wakandan research facility that's being attacked by the West. The Americans.
It's French.
Oh, was it the French? It was the
French.
Right, okay, sorry. The Americans. And I put the kick-ass Wakandan army that was given zero respect in Endgame and now on a rampage. I hated how they were treated in Endgame.
Yeah,
they just brushed aside, weren't they? It was like, do you remember? I was like, oh my god, it's her and Black Widow fighting together. Oh, they've both been beating the shit out of. Brilliant. Was
Yeah.
that Endgame or was that the
That
other
was
one?
well, that was Infinity War. Yeah.
Oh, that was Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Because their research facility is being attacked. Fair enough. Right. Okay. Divers now found a broken drill. Divers now found a broken drill at the bottom of the ocean and hit some vibranium. Uh-oh. Divers get killed. This was creepy, this scene. Did you get creeped out by this scene?
Yeah, because I don't like all that stuff anyway, like underwater stuff like that. It's the way that things emerge out of nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of horrible.
There was a lot of that in this.
Yeah.
This scene in particular, where they're all just the floating heads in the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, mate, I'm not liking this. And then the crew just standing up and then walking off the boat one by one.
Yeah.
I said, but this is horrific. It's proper creaking me out.
Yeah, that was like the sirens thing, wasn't it? Of
them all singing. Yeah. I said, oh, it's just insanely unsettling because then they start climbing the boat and that, and it's just this is awful. Right. Oh my, there are sea people. This is weirding me out. The way they climb the ship. Ha ha ha. They have little masks with water in them.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
Did you literally write ha ha ha?
I did, yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, ha ha ha. They have little masks with water in them. Like, I just love that. It was such a lame way of showing they can't breathe out air. They need water. So here's a little
mask with a bit of water in it.
Just a little bit of water. Just a little bit of water in it. What if they drink it by accident? No. Right, okay. Harry just shouted, "I do not understand anything." And I just put, "That's my boy. That sounds like his dad." Yeah, he wasn't following this at all. I had to stop it and explain.
Yeah.
Queen and Princess talking. In quotes, "There's something that I need to tell you about your brother." Suddenly interrupted. What was that?
I think that's probably what the reveal is at the end. I think that's probably what that was about.
Oh, of course that's what it is.
Yeah.
Of course that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Huh.
I think that's what it is.
I think you're right. But why did the Queen find it really strange that she didn't come to the funeral? When she goes over there to see her.
But because of the fact that of the reveal at the end, like why wouldn't you have come to the funeral?
What?
Why wouldn't she have come to the funeral? Like Nakia?
Because they were told not to bring the son to the funeral.
Yeah.
Right, okay, we'll deal with that later. Just remind me to talk about what she was going to say, because I don't know if the timeline works here. I think you're right, but I think I'm also an idiot and I'm missing something.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're fully aware that I'm an idiot, but I think I'm missing something. Right. Man flies out of the water, but he isn't one of the blue people. Right. So this is the first time we meet Namor.
Namor. Yeah.
He's got wings on his boots. No, I didn't realise that he was actually born with little wings on his ankles. Yeah. I'm not a fan of this character, James.
Really? You didn't like him?
I've got lots to say about.
Okay. Right. I mean, he's quite interesting because he's the first character as well in the whole of the MCU, like of what we've seen so far, that says that he's a mutant. That's never been said before. And
why is that interesting?
Because that's setting up like X-Men and all that kind of stuff.
Oh right, okay. All right.
And also, I mean, he's not the first one, kind of, because there's also Ms. Marvel as well. That's like says she's a mutant as well, but this is the first in the films. But yeah.
Okay. We've been given him. That's it. He introduces himself as Namor. I said we've been given a name, so he must be important, and he is. He's very much is. Right. He's angry that Black Panther told the world about vibranium.
Yep.
Seems like a complete waste of time that he did now, doesn't it? They're not sharing it, so why did he go? We got vibranium. Have you?
Well, he's annoyed because he's like, come on, we were onto a good thing here, like with all this, and now everyone knows about it.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying. Why did Black Panther say that and then just not do anything?
Well, no, they did though. They went and did the whole thing with like the outreach and everything. That was what the whole point was at the end of Black Panther, the first film.
But why does everyone want the vibranium then?
Well, it's because they want it all for military purposes, don't they?
But then I'm not sure to fully follow. Wakanda finding out that they're not the only civilization with vibranium is really interesting, to be honest. Her nose was put out of joint, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're quite annoyed about that.
I thought that was quite funny, actually, because they were like, "Oh yes, we are the most advanced civilization. We've got all the vibranium. You're not getting any. Yeah, we got some too. So what? We got some too.
So yeah,
What's that?
Most advanced civilization apart from the one under the sea.
Yeah, you haven't. Yes, we have. And it was the bit where he come up and said, "You're not getting our vibranium," and then and then the princess was like, "Look, he's covered in it. he's got loads.
Yeah.
He's got loads of little bracelets."
That was quite a funny line, actually. It's like he's covered in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that wasn't the line. That was me paraphrasing James.
No, I know, but it's just the idea of just going, look at him, look, he's covered in the stuff.
He's absolutely dripping with the shit.
Dripping in it. But I did like his reveal though, like him coming out the water. I thought was pretty good. I like that.
All right. I'm enjoying the questions this film is asking and the way it's going about, but it's very slow paced so far. Scenes seem to be taking longer than they really need to. So there was that scene. Yeah. The scene in particular I'm thinking of was where they were talking about T'Challa on the beach before he shows up, right?
And also, and the whole thing about ancestors and
and I'm going,
and all that kind
this
of thing.
is going on for ages.
I mean,
they're not saying anything that they haven't said in the first 30 seconds of the scene. So why is it still going on?
But I think what they were trying to do here is I think they were trying to leave it like time to breathe and time to sort of like contemplate some of these ideas that they were. Now, I don't think it worked, honestly. Like I think. I mean, I think this film was too long anyway, but I think
it is.
I understand why they did those things. I just don't think it worked.
I agree with you. There's a part of the film that's way too long for zero reason, right? I can listen to that and go, yeah, you're probably right. They needed the slow bits at the start to talk about like the sort of political issues that having the world's biggest, energy source, like what a problem that is, and then finding out that there's someone else that has that. I think leaving that room to breathe, I think, is fine. There's a bit later that isn't fine, but we'll talk about that, right? I'm enjoying it. Yeah, okay, right. Red Hot Chili Peppers hyping up to a character. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's Tim from The Office. And yes, he's still got that accent. Fucking hell, couldn't have they done a wonder to him by now?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? A wonder. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Matt. Couldn't they've just like sort of said, "Oh no, I'm English now. Actually, you don't have to listen to this weird American accent anymore. It's fine." Also, I should point out we got a number of tweets this week. I don't know if you saw.
I don't know what were they referring to.
They were referring to there was another version of Jim in The Office. Do you remember the other version of Jim in The Office?
Yeah,
Asian Jim.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's the what's it guy from?
Oh.
So there's another member of The Office is in the films. What's his character's name from Ant-Man? Come on.
Oh,
he's brilliant.
Agent, what's his name?
Agent, what's his name? That's
I
it. You nailed
remember. I'm gonna have to look it up.
He's googling.
It's what? Agent Wu. It is Agent Wu.
That's it. Yeah. When he's doing that little. I still love that little trick he does. But someone else pointed out, no, actually, there's another link to. So we've had all three. We've had Tim, Jim, and Asian Jim. It's amazing in these films, right? Talk of a scientist, of a kid or something. Don't really follow that bit because I was bartering with Harry about giving me some Malwam. He had like a big old thing of Malwam, and I said, "Can I have 2 of them?" And he chucked me 2 of the cola ones. And I went, "I don't want the cola ones, mate. Give me the raspberry ones."
What's wrong with the cola ones? They're all right.
Nah. He was like, good, but, I hate them. He was like, well, no. Well, if you're doing that, then I get to do such and such. I can't remember what he was asking for now. But I was like, no, hold on. That's not how it works. Just give me 2 of the Malwam. That's how it works. Otherwise, you don't eat tomorrow. How about that, little... so in the end he gave me some Malwam, but I picked up on it. I know exactly who the scientist. She created a detection thing for the vibranium, and we know the story. Oh right, they're after a vibranium detector, and this 19-year-old invented in school. Right, okay. You know what? Stark invented time travel in one night, so I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
I'll allow it.
She's a major new character. That's good. I mean, she's got her own
Brilliant.
TV series coming.
Excellent.
So
happy with that. Yeah. We'll talk about her later, but happy with that. Pause in the film to see if Harry understands this. He does perfectly. He's a better person than I am.
Did he explain it to you?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, I knew it, but I was surprised by how convinced he was that he knew it, because especially at the start of the film where he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Convincing the kids to come to Wakanda. This was a good scene. This was probably the funniest scene in the thing.
Yeah.
No, I think this was a very, very good scene. They didn't do enough of this for my liking, but I suppose with the general shadow over the film, it was hard to make it as light and fluffy as it should be. But I thought this was quite good. The thing about getting the wrong tone makeup and
well, I mean, Okoye was brilliant in this film.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's one duff performance. I can't think of one.
No.
I think pretty much everyone was on point.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've got further thoughts about her as well, but we'll come to that.
Okay. Feds turn up. She seems to have a special flying machine to escape because she's going, I'm going to use this. I've put in cap, holy shit, she's the new Iron Man. Yes. Yeah. Whatever happened to War Machine is what I put. What did happen to War Machine?
Well, no, he's still kicking around, isn't he?
He's just not kicking.
Well, yeah. Okay, it's probably the wrong. But yeah, he's still around. He's still definitely around. Yeah.
So is he any of the TV shows or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Because it kind of feels like there's a hell of a lot of Avengers that they've just forgotten at this point.
Yeah, but he's not like Tony Stark level, is he? Like in the sense of he's not like an inventor. He didn't. No,
but he still flies around in a massive Iron Man suit.
Yeah, I know, but it's like a US government one, isn't it? Which isn't great.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true. Wicked car chase scene. Harry just asked, when is one of them going to become Black Panther? That's pretty heartless, Harry. I mean, we're dealing with a film about loss.
Yeah.
Who's going to replace him? So, all right, Harry, calm down. See people riding the whales up onto the bridge. Okay. The whale stuff, I don't know, it looked a bit silly to me.
Yeah.
What did you think?
That whole sequence I didn't think was that great, honestly.
Well, I said the fight scene was weird. It was like it was filmed like a Mortal Kombat game. Didn't you think?
How so?
Like just real sort of like scripted back and forths between the two characters, side shot. It was, I don't know, it felt like a modern day beat 'em up game. It was really I don't know. It was alright. I didn't hate it. What didn't you like about it?
Well, I don't know. It just felt, I don't know. I just didn't think it was that great. I did like the chase sequence, although there was a part of that which I thought was a bit weird. You know, this is okay. You know, there's the bit with the drone. Do you remember the bit with the drone?
I think so. Go on.
So she flies up and then like destroys the drone, which then comes down and looks like it kills like a whole ton of people.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was very strange. Like they were kind of like that because they don't. I mean, generally, okay, you do get like the collateral damage kind of thing in these films sometimes.
But barely.
Well, exactly, and then that's why this felt a bit like there was like a roadblock of like police, and then like the drone just came down and just smashed into the roadblock and like looked like it explosion and fire everywhere.
It's not as bad as the bus full of civilians that died in Eternals.
The bus was empty.
The bus was not empty in central London at that time. No way is the bus empty.
Maybe it was one of those buses that was doing like a training run or something.
Well, now they're a bus of petals, James. Yeah.
Well, the bus driver survived.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No,
he definitely survived. He definitely survived. He was the only one who survived. He was standing there, you know?
No, but he was standing there.
Go back and watch, you'll see.
Okay.
100% he survived.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up.
Yeah.
I suppose she's been in these films before, right? I can't remember which one, though.
No, she's not been in the film. She's been in the TV series. So you'd have seen her in, what's it called? Captain America. You know, not Captain America, the...
That's right.
Yeah, she was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh god, that fucking thing. What was she in that?
She was the same character. I mean, she's the same.
No, she's the same character, but like she was just right at the end though. She wasn't really in it, was she?
But the whole thing is she's supposed to be like CIA director or whatever, and like she's supposed to be.
She's not very
like
good.
Part. No, she's not. But she's supposed to be like part of an alternative like power sort of base, I think, because you know, like there's the guy who was like bad Captain America in that
I
series.
do remember Bad Captain America. Yeah,
she's like gathering together a whole bunch of those people.
Oh, that'd be so good if the shit Avengers.
It's all just all the rejects, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, Sergeant America.
Yeah, but I mean that was one of the problems with this film though, because her and Tim from The Office didn't need to be in this film at all. They could have removed that entire part of this film.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't make a difference, does it? You're absolutely right. It's so weird. It was like a way, we're keeping America in the film somehow.
Yeah, why? Like, what? Why does that need to happen?
Yeah, you're absolutely right there.
Yeah.
God, there are way too many films with way too many characters on there. There's just a little thought that I had. Okoye, getting a dressing down. I said harsh, but she's got a point. She lost the princess. Also,
but
the queen. No. What? Yeah, what?
Well, yeah, she did, but yeah, okay, fine.
Nah,
but I still think it. I think it was harsh, like stripping her of all the stuff.
Yeah, so did I. And then when you think about what's happening, you go, "Oh no, she's absolutely spot on to be doing what she's doing." Absolutely spot on, because you got the fact that she went away, she lost the princess. Kaye has already lost her son. Like, this is like, the queen's already lost her son. This is like, this is no surprise. This is the right thing to do, even though I love that character so much with all my heart. Like, I was kind of like, yeah, you can kind of say it's like when your favourite player gets sent off in a football match and you go, yeah, no, that was a bit of a bad tackle, mate. Like, you kind of deserve that.
Broke his leg.
Yeah. But her performance in this bit was brilliant, because what she was trying to portray, I guess, was that it's not just about that. It's about everything she's gone through for the past few years, Like, you see the anger and the resentment and everything just come out in her voice when she was screaming there. Was just like, oh my God, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Really good performance. Not totally sure why they are keeping the Sea People secret, to be honest. Oh, yeah, I don't know why
because that was the other thing, because you got the whole, like, the US kind of getting involved with the whole thing, and then
that's it.
There's all these threats being thrown. I mean, all the most like ridiculous threats, like the US saying like, "Oh, we should invade Wakanda." It's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
like,
you get battered.
Exactly.
Like, it was all like a That's the bit that confused me, is that every time Tim said, "So there's another civilization." Yep. So what can you tell us about? We're not seeing nothing. Well, why didn't you? It's like all those. Do you remember in the mid-2000s where journalists would go on Twitter saying, "I'm playing a game but I can't talk about it," or on a podcast, "I'm playing a game but I can't talk about it." Well, don't say anything then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there is another civilization, but we're not going to tell you. Why? Because it's dangerous. Well, don't tell us there's another civilization then. Why have you told us that bit?
Yeah.
Stupid. Down with the scientist, who they apparently don't want to kill now. Oh, right, okay. So the end of that fight scene on the bridge is a weird moment where they kind of say, okay, let's go to your home and let's go check that out. So they take the scientist and the princess down. And I said, this bit is a little bit shit and long-winded. Looking over, and it appears Harry is fully checked out too. Right, let me just...
the whole going to Talokan, like the underwater thing, it went on for a very long time.
This is the worst part of the film.
Underwater stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it looks nice, but you don't have to keep...
I don't think it looks nice. So,
you don't think so?
One of my ultimate takeaways from this film is that I was massively disappointed that so much of it was set underwater. Because what I adored so much about the Black Panther film is just how beautiful it was. How vibrant and colourful, and it just looked incredible. And we've gone from that to this, which is blue, dark, not particularly good to look at, I don't think. I think the backstory was okay. But then I put,
that's also strange as well.
Yeah, so what did the civilization drink to make them turn into fish people?
I don't know what that was. But then what I do find odd, though, is that whole, like, letting the people there suffer when they could have done something again.
How do you mean?
Well, like, the people from Talokan, they could have come up and stopped those invaders. They could have stopped the Spanish invaders at that point. At any point, they could have done that, and they don't.
Yeah, they could have, but then they can't breathe. So I don't know. I think there might have been some fear there as well. I don't know. You're probably right. It's probably a bit of a loophole. But so yeah, the child without love is what he calls himself. Killed everyone so he could bury his mother. That, and because his people would be enslaved, of course. Right. So yeah, I don't know what they drank. I thought this bit was okay, but then everything from here up until when they escape, I'm like, why the fuck are they spending so much time here?
Yeah, it did go on.
I must admit, I didn't see this film spending this much time underwater, or that there'd be a music video bit with a wow in the middle of it.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
Now seeing Rapture from BioShock.
See, what you're saying though about like looking over at Harry and seeing him checked out, that's exactly what it was like when I was in the cinema with the kids. Like you just look over it and they just looked really like just bored.
Yeah,
you know, like, by the whole of that
this
section.
Bit was dull. And also, when you've seen Rapture in BioShock and it looks like an old video game that looks a million times better than the civilization they had undersea. Like way more interesting, way more interesting to look at. Like the history of it was more interesting. I looked at this and just went, "Oh fucking hell! Why are we here?"
Well, originally it should have been Atlantis. Like that's what this would have
right.
been. Like that's where Namor would have been from. It would have been that. Sense. But they changed it for this. I'm not entirely. I think it's because they didn't want this to get sort of like mistaken for the DC stuff, which is like Aquaman and all that kind of stuff. Because that's like really similar.
But like, why didn't they just brighten it up a bit?
I don't know, because I mean, when I think Atlantis, like City Under the Sea,
I think bright lights and a big castle,
lights, massive domes, all that, that kind of stuff. But they didn't go for that.
Yeah, this was really dull.
I thought the throne room stuff looked pretty good though.
It was okay, but I mean, after spending what felt like 2 hours down in underwater, I was kind of like, I'm kind of done with this now. Okay, okay. This bit seems needlessly slow. Everything seems to be taking ages. It's very simple plot so far, and they seem to want to spend a lot of time world building. But honestly, I don't think the underwater city is that interesting as the film thinks it is. Okay, here we go. Sea people want to start a war with the world and wants Wakanda on their side. If they don't join them, though, they'll attack Wakanda first. I hope this picks up the pace now.
It kind of does.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Just had a text from Joe. It says, she just had me text me, just sold my car and we buy any. The problem is Charlie's been singing this all weekend. All weekend. He heard it on the radio this week, so he just can't stop singing it. So, yes, she's just texted me that to make me laugh. Sorry. Saving the princess but killing a blue person while not... Sorry, I call them blue people throughout the thing. While doing it is not going to go down well then. Right, so this is where they escape, right?
Yeah, and they kill that the lady, don't they? They
do kill the lady. Yeah. Girl grassing up the Wakandans then dies. Not sure how the ones on the bridge were fine then, to be honest. Anyway, this means war now. Right, what I mean by that, do you remember the big fight on the bridge?
Yes.
So they get stabbed through the heart with a spear and fall over, and then after that they just get up and walk off.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Well, there's also, there's strange stuff as well at the beginning of the film with this, do you remember when you had those soldiers shooting at those the people that were invading the ship right at the beginning?
Yeah.
And they're shooting at them, and it's all pinging off.
Yeah, it's pinging off them, right? Yeah.
And then it's nothing. And then a couple of scenes later, they're shooting them, and they're all going down, and you're thinking, which is it? Are they invulnerable to this stuff, or are they not?
Weird, wasn't it?
It's there was a lot of stuff like that in this film that didn't really the level of power that the people had, and the level
changes
of threat,
a lot, doesn't it?
It changed all the time depending on what was needed for the situation.
Well, during the big fight at the end, right? They just go down like nothing. They're just like normal people now. They're not godlike or more powerful. They get absolutely torn to pieces.
Yeah.
So they change that a lot, don't they? It's really weird. Talakan sucks a bit, doesn't it? This is the really dull location to set the majority of the film. All right, Dave, calm down. Attack on Wakanda and the whales turn up. Harry, use your vibranium! Harry shouts. Not sure which side he's shouting that about or why he thinks either of them aren't using the vibranium, to be honest, but I won't ask.
I mean, we've already established that they're dripping in it, all of them. So,
I mean, everyone was using it in this fight. I was like, well, what do you want them to do with it, Harry? I'm not quite sure. Here comes the Fish King, because I forgot his name at this point. He doesn't have the weird issue where his shorts... Right, okay. Do you go swimming a lot?
No, I haven't been for ages.
Really?
Yeah.
When you went swimming, what would you wear?
Like swimming shorts.
Right. Do you always have that problem about getting out of water where it just sticks to you like cling film? And it's like the most embarrassing thing because you're like, everyone can see your knob. So instantly, as you're getting out, you're pulling your shorts away from you.
Pull it away a bit,
so that no one could see your knob. And I said, the Fish King doesn't have that problem, does he? With the shorts, they're not exposing him to the world. And then the camera pans around, and I put, oh wait, yes he does. Like you just see his knob in this film. It's really weird.
Don't remember that.
Yeah, okay. I saw it, boy. I saw everything. Fishman then uses water balloons on the Queen. Right, okay, this is actually really bad, this bit. So again, it seems like all the films in the MCU have loads of water in them, making you want to piss endlessly. So all of the long ones, I mentioned this in one of the recent ones where there was a hell of a lot of water in it. But this one, again, I'm sitting there going, imagine needing a piss watching this an hour and a half in. You'd be like, what? There's going to be water explosions now, are there? Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
I mean, especially if you're in the cinema and you've already had one of those massive Cokes and stuff like that, and then you're just like,
I don't drink anywhere near as much. I used to go to the cinema, and when I bought the cinema, I used to buy extra large popcorn, extra large drink. I can't do that no more because I just will not last more than 5 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Getting old, isn't it?
It is getting old. Yep. Yeah. Oh my God, the Queen has died. I said, Christ, this is awful. It's another funeral, and I'm welling up again. Yeah. Like, they didn't give a shit in this film, did they?
No, they would, And also, I think it was a shame that she went, honestly, because she was brilliant. Like,
brilliant character, really good, really well acted. Yeah, really strong performance. Yeah, it's a shame.
And I think she leaves, like, a huge void as well, honestly, like with this.
Yes, but then I also think there's an interesting, like, I'm interested where the future goes now. I'll explain that at the end. Hold on. Okay. What were people using this as a threat? What? Oh yeah. So they were using the death of the Queen as if to go, look at what we can do. Yeah. Val reveals that she's been monitoring Tim all along, and she knew that he was in touch with the Wakandans.
But again, none of this matters.
Yeah,
none of it matters.
Completely pointless. Who cares then?
Yeah.
It's so bad, isn't it? Yeah. Wakanda preparing for the arrival of the Fishman again. This is getting to Ant-Man levels, right? Mm-hmm. I think I'm slowly limping to the finish line. Looks like we're getting a new superhero, the Midnight Angel. That is easily the best name in the MCU, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes, all right.
Think of the other superhero names. Iron Man. All right, it's iconic.
I think Black Panther's pretty cool.
Black Panther's pretty cool. It's not as good as the Midnight Angel. I think that is wicked. Although the Midnight Angel, now I said it a couple of times, does sound like a biker gang.
It does.
About the Midnight Angels.
So I'm with the Midnight Angels.
You can't wear our patch if you're not in a. Shuri creates a Black Panther juice. Right, so this is the reveal of working out what she was doing at the start of the film. She was trying to recreate the Black Panther juice, and now she's becoming the new Black Panther. She seals Killmonger. Shuri didn't see the ancestors.
Yeah, I said, well, she does. It is one of not an ancestor, but it is family.
Yeah, I guess. I put this is very Star Wars now because it feels like once you take the Black Panther juice, you're either going to the dark side or the light side. Do you know what I mean?
This is the whole thing. This is the point of the film that I really didn't engage with at all. It's like, because I really like Killmonger a lot, and I thought he was great, and I was really happy to see him again with this. And I was hoping she'd have followed. By the end of the film, I was hoping she was going to take his route. Honestly, I was hoping she was going to follow through.
I was way happy with where they went.
No, I was not. I was
way happy with where they went.
See, I'm one of those people. I'm not that jazzed about her being the Black Panther either.
You're kidding me? How?
No,
Why
I'm
not?
not.
She's brilliant.
Because I thought it should have been Okoye. That's who I thought it should have been. Because
She's excellent. You're absolutely right. But
let me explain why.
Okay.
Right. I thought before I saw. I mean, I know. Okay, Shuri has been the Black Panther before in the comic books. Like they have done that. It's not something which has just come out of nowhere or whatever. But I thought in the first film they built up this idea that the Black Panther is somebody who is also like a warrior, like somebody who has earned that, through being, through training and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's why you get that whole scene in the waterfall in the first Black Panther.
Yeah, totally get
to
that.
show that he could still be the Black Panther even without the power.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And I don't feel like Shuri earned this.
No,
at all,
I don't. But I like the fact that they've gone with a Spider-Man style thing with this, where it's like we have now got a Black Panther that has got a lot to learn. Like I like the angle that you're absolutely right with the previous Black Panther that they were established and they were a leader, right? Now we've got the other end of the spectrum where we've got a young girl who has got a lot to learn about taking this role on, and I think that's way more interesting than having.
I understand that, and that you can see that. I can see that perspective, but it's just that's why I felt though Okoye could have been if she'd have been a bigger part of this film, and the part of her redemption for the fact that she failed earlier in the film could have been building up to this of like this is what she's going to become. I wish she'd have been a bigger part of the film, honestly.
She's a pretty big part of the film.
No, but I still think she should.
I think she's one of the best characters in this film.
Yeah,
I think you're right. So as long as she's alongside Black Panther in future ones, I'm happy. Yeah, because she's brilliant. Like if she stays as her bodyguard or her, vice president or what they call that? I don't know what they call that in the monarchy.
She was general.
Right. Okay. Just that one. Vice president. But no, I just want, as long as she's still in it, then I'm okay with it, I think. But yeah, this whole thing was very Star Wars. As you say, it's like, is she going to go to the dark side? That's what it felt like. It was like, all right. Yes, mate, the new suit is great. Shuri makes for an excellent Black Panther, in my opinion.
Okay, well.
Okay. Here we go then. 5 people being attacked by the vibranium Titanic.
Oh, hang on. There's another bit before that though that I thought was I thought was a bit weird as well.
Go on.
So you know how so she goes back to the to M'Baku's tribe, to sort of say I am the Black Panther. We're all going to get together and we're going to do this attack and all that kind of stuff. And because she's annoyed because of the fact that her mother's been killed and all that kind of thing. And then she says this line where she says, Was my mother's life not worth eternal war, you see? And then he says yes, and I'm just thinking, no? Like, do you know do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't really feel, I just saw this all as posturing. Like
it was
all
posturing, but it's like, that's a
but I just thought it was all
weird
throwaway. Yeah, I suppose so.
I
did just find it all throwaway, to be honest with you.
I was thinking all the people that are going to die in an eternal war. It's just like, I don't know. I don't think that's right. But anyway, go on.
Okay. I said, seeing Iron Lady makes me think of who's going to be the next Avengers.
Yeah.
And I, for one, for the first time in ages, see a glimmer of the future of the MCU. Because I looked at this and I was kind of like, well, who the fuck are the Avengers now? Now I look at it and I think, well, we've got a really cool Black Panther. We've got, well, I think so anyway. We've got Spider-Man, obviously. We've got Doctor Strange. We've got this new Iron Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she's Ironheart. That's who she's going to be.
Ironheart, right. Yeah. Ironheart. I love Ironheart. I think that could be interesting.
Well, new TV series starting soon.
Nice. So, who else? Who else would be? Hawkeye wouldn't be in it anymore.
Well, you got Ms. Marvel as well.
Oh, Ms. Marvel. I don't know Ms. Marvel.
I actually haven't seen it.
No. Okay. All right.
You got She-Hulk as well, potentially.
Okay. So I'm starting to see, Avengers: The New Class, and it doesn't seem as bad. I like. We've had the Macho Men Avengers films, right? We've had that pairing. Now I want to see a bunch of real. I want to see real progression because I think, Captain America, as brilliant as he was, I am not saying that the route that they're clearly going down now would be better than the route they did, or that the route they did with the macho men getting together and fighting evils, right? I'm not saying that's bad, okay? Like, I'm not,
But this is going in a different direction.
This is going in a different direction, and I think that's way better than them rebuilding another very similar.
Yeah, because I don't think that would have worked anyway. To have done that. I'm happy with that as a direction. I think it's great. But
basically just a bunch of kids that don't know what they're doing. Like, I'd love that. I'd love to see an Avengers film that's a little bit like that, rather than all the smug, hey, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, let's move on. Let's try something different, right? Yeah, I'm
nice to see you. Oh, they never said that, did they?
They never said that. No, I made that up in my head, James. Right. I put same with Harry, apparently, because he just commented about how many girls there are in the new Avengers, you absolute bigot.
Is that what you said to him?
No, I didn't say that to him. I wouldn't say that to him. It was like, there's a lot of girls in these new Avengers, isn't there, Dad? I was like, yeah, that's all right, mate. Just keep your opinions to yourself, mate, and we'll both get on. Treat him like I do my dad. The water people aren't exactly putting up a fight here, are they? So
I'll tell you what is also weird about this, though, is why would the Wakandans take the fight to the ocean where the enemy is strongest? Keep it away from Wakanda, mate. I know, but it's where the enemy is the strongest.
Yeah. They knew what they were doing.
And also, the Wakandan ship looks rubbish.
It looked like a crap Titanic.
Yeah.
And it didn't last long either, because they turn up with about 1 million water balloons and they set them off. And I put, this really is like the Titanic, waiting for someone to fall and hit the propeller. Mm-hmm. Why is that such a big image in so many people's heads? You know what I'm referring to, right?
You mean like when the Titanic went down and the whole thing like that, with the propeller going down and sucking people under and stuff? I don't know where you're going with this. Where are you going with this?
You know when right, okay, there's one death in the Titanic film that everyone references. I don't think you know which one it is.
I don't remember.
How many times have you seen the Titanic?
I saw it about 2 or 3 times, but like about 20 years ago, and it even longer than that. Whenever it came out.
Right, okay. Remember. So there's a bit where the ship splits in half, right? As it's sinking, and then one of the people on the boat slides off, and then is falling from a great height into the water. But he doesn't just fall straight into the water. He hits the propeller and spins. No, the propeller's not spinning. It just hits it. It goes boom, and he starts spinning in the air as he hits the water.
Okay, don't remember that.
Wow, you're like one of the only people that have seen that film and cannot remember that bit.
Because it was years ago, and it wasn't like I'm
not talking about when it actually happened, James.
No, I know, but I don't remember.
What?
Let's have a look. Propeller death.
You don't think Titanic was that great?
It was all right. It wasn't amazing though. What? Sorry, I don't think it was an amazing film.
I mean, it's a bit overplayed now, but it was amazing.
Why didn't he just get on that door with her as well at the end?
Because there wasn't enough room.
That's like rubbish.
Well, there was no survivors anyway. We were taught that at school. There was no. Well, there were survivors, but there was no. There was no people floating in the water after the ship had gone down. That was all bollocks.
But either way, it was fine.
Okay. Fisherman blows up the fisherman. That's what I'm calling him now. What is his name? Namor. Right. Fisherman blows up the sauna ship. Right, so
it's when they're trying to dry him out, aren't they?
This is the plan to dry him out. They spent ages thinking, this is an amazing plan. The plan lasted 2 seconds in the film because he just blows up the ship anyway. It doesn't make a fucking blowing
Why not just lure him to a desert or something?
Yeah.
Why do it on the ocean where there's loads of water?
The Wakandans are being overrun by the water people. Oh my God. Shuri about to kill fisherman and he stabs her right through the stomach. Where the fuck does this film go from here? Well, I'll tell you where it goes. It just kind of ignores the fact that happened.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it? Yeah. I said, she just walks off of the spear.
Yeah. I mean, anyone could do that. It's fine.
Then burns the bloke with the spaceship, right? Yeah. Okay, that was quite a cool death. Still,
it wasn't a death.
Oh no, it wasn't a death. No, still can't get over how little his swimsuit is. Right? I didn't need to comment on that, David. Right? The way she decides not to kill the fisherman is so perfect. It works so well. So she holds the spear to his neck. She has flashbacks of T'Challa, and then she speaks to her mum essentially in a vision, and she says, show him who you really are. And I was like, oh, this is you denouncing what you saw when you drank the juice. This is you becoming the person that you like. She was so hooked on vengeance up until that point there. I was kind of like, oh, that's perfect, actually. That's a hero moment.
Yeah, I know it was a hero moment. I just wish that she'd taken care of business like Killmonger. I think that would have been. It would have been. I know it's completely against the spirit of what they were trying to do in the film, but I just think it would have been more interesting.
Were you like shouting this in the cinema when you watched it? Oh,
like,
come on!
Business.
Just put it through his neck.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
Just stab him.
What's bullshit in German?
I don't know. I've no idea.
Bullshit. I don't know. That's how you do a save the bad guy moment, Spider-Man. Although they don't really, do they? Blimey, he's still pretty evil by the end of the film. But there we go.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing with this. Like he goes off and then he's just like, our time will come.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah. He hasn't learned a lesson at all. That's how you save the bad guy moment. Yeah. New Iron Man goes home and Black Panther ceremony. Right, this is the Black Panther ceremony that I don't quite get either.
Right, so this was where she was supposed to go and do the ceremony.
That's fine.
And then she just doesn't bother going.
Turn up, yeah.
And partly because part of this film is also supposed to be her like rejecting the traditions and stuff as well.
Okay.
To a degree.
Yeah,
and that's
I didn't
part
drum
of what
that
she's
home
doing
well
with
enough.
that.
But then why does he come out and go, I challenge her?
Well, no, because that's the whole thing, though, because M'Baku now wants to become the king, basically. So she's going to be Black Panther, but he may end up being the king.
Why has he done that?
What do you mean?
Because, he's been a good guy for a while now.
Yeah, but he's not doing anything bad. He just wants to take over.
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, maybe he's just become the king. I hope they keep him as a good guy. Because he's better as a good guy than he is as a bad guy.
I liked him a lot.
Yeah, he was good in this as well. Yeah. Fisherman still hell bent on war, is what I put.
Yeah.
Tim being ambushed by the Midnight Angel.
I mean, you wouldn't bother, would you?
Is he coming back to Wakanda? And why am I rooting for him? He's a terrible character.
Yeah.
Back at Haiti, was she burning her funeral dress?
No, she was burning. It was T'Challa's robe,
right?
And that's the way to release it, and to sort of say, I'm going to move on now from this.
Maybe I saw something totally different here,
but
it looked like she chucked it behind the fire, and then it cut, and it was on top of the fire. I need to watch that again.
Hang on. It's not T'Challa's funeral robe; it's hers. That was what it was.
So I was right.
Yeah,
burning
you were right.
Her funeral dress.
Yeah.
Did you just Google that?
No, yeah. Well, no, because I've got notes up. And
did you just Google that?
No, I didn't. No.
Right, okay. Yeah, but if you watch that scene again, I'm pretty sure maybe I saw it wrong, but I looked at it and it looked like she chucked it behind the fire, and then it cuts and it's on top of the fire, and I was like, that's weird. But I need to watch that again.
Didn't notice that. No.
Okay. Clips of Bozeman. This is really rough. This end bit.
I know, because this is why when I saw this, I just kept on just thinking, oh, has she been in this film? Like, I really wish.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it would have been a completely different film.
Of course, I had those thoughts while it was going on as well. And honestly, I kind of felt that actually they shouldn't have had the credits at this point, and they should have, because I come away when the end come up, I felt nothing, and I thought it was weird that they went back to that again at the end of the film. But then it totally makes sense when you see the mid-credits scene.
Yes,
and I was like, they totally shouldn't have had that in the mid-credits. They should have ended with that final little bit, because that was an excellent ending, I thought. Why didn't they do that before the credits and then just not have a mid-credit?
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense to me. I think that was a really poor decision. So anyway, I put end. Bit of a strange ending, that. Just felt like they needed to do one more thing, I guess. Harry marks out of 10. 9? Which is the weirdest, the strangest score he's ever given one of these films, because I did not see this coming. Best bit when the water people and the Wakandans fight. Okay, I said for me this film was good, but could have been so much shorter.
Yeah, and
the segment in the middle really slows things down too much, and visually I was really disappointed with the film compared to the first film. And then I put mid-creds. Oh my, she has a son. That's why she moved to Haiti. Oh, that's great. No final cutscene. So, yeah, that's it. I'm up to date, James.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because, like I said, this is the second time I saw the film, and I enjoyed it a lot more the second time. A bit like with Eternals, really. And I think because
Can
the
I ask
problem.
you something?
Go on.
I want you to be absolutely honest with me, okay? This second viewing,
Yeah.
did you fast forward any of it?
No, I didn't.
James?
I 100% didn't.
Okay, all right, okay.
I did think about it though.
Leave it there.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
The scene with the the underwater stuff.
Oh
I did
yeah. I showed Joe. It was really funny
that.
because the music video. It was really funny because I was showing Joe, like I was catching her up on the story because she missed the first half. And I got to the bit where they announced war, basically, and I was really worried about where the film was going at that point. It was a poor place to stop it, really. But I showed Joe the next morning, and I was flicking through them. You know, you could see at the bottom, like the thumbnails of where the film's at as you're flicking through it. I'm flicking through it, and I'm going, yeah, there's this bit. Oh, and I said, look, they're underwater now. And I'm fast forwarding and going, they're still underwater, they're still underwater, they're still underwater, they're still underwater. And it's like a good 25, 30 minutes under there. And I'm going, wow, that bit was really bad.
See, I think also the reason... So I changed my mind a bit about this because the first time around I saw it, I didn't like it that much. Mostly because I felt it was far too long, as we've already said. I thought this could have been about 40 minutes less, like in time, and it would have been kind of better. And as I said, I was not entirely happy with the idea of Shuri as the Black Panther. But then I think the other thing about this was maybe a bit like with Eternals is I went into this with incredibly high expectations because I really like Black Panther a lot. Like the first one, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. But also, this is like the ending of like this phase, and I was just thinking, okay, maybe they are going to set up what's going to come next. And again, they don't really do that. Like not in a really substantial way. And so I felt let down when I saw this film. But then again, that's more my fault because of the expectations I had rather than for what the film actually was, which is why I probably ended up enjoying it more the second time round.
I think what got me was that actually what I was really excited about with this film was just how vibrant the first film was, and this was obviously a darker film, and you know the issues it dealt with I think were darker. Didn't think the film needed to reflect that. Like I didn't need to see that much dark blue in throughout the film when, you know, that's not what the previous Black Panther film was about. So why is this one about that? You know, I didn't feel for that. I think in terms of all the civilizations we've seen throughout these films, I didn't think the underwater one was a good one. You know, there was that line in it where he goes, "We've got more soldiers than you've got blades of grass in Wakanda."
Yeah.
That was never represented.
No,
I'm assuming.
Wasn't.
I mean, you could wave that away as, oh, he was bullshitting. All right, fair enough. But why?
It's a pretty big bullshit, though.
Yeah, make it obvious that it was bullshitting then, because like we certainly didn't see that many people turn up for the fight. So I don't know. Not my favourite. Not terrible.
Do you want to know what the film was going to be with
Sorry,
Chadwick Boseman?
My headphone just fell out of my ear. Then do I want to know what
the film was originally going to be with Chadwick Boseman?
Go on,
what they were going to do.
Go on.
So this is according to Ryan Coogler, who was the director. Originally, what was going to happen is it was going to be T'Challa dealing with like life after the blip, and the fact that he's lost like 5 years of his life and everything, and because he'd not met his son, and how he was going to like meet his son, and it was going to be about that.
That would have been interesting.
But Namor was still going to be the villain. Like that was still going to be the person in the film. But
right.
That's where they were going to go. So it was going to be like a sort of a father-son thing, I think, instead. Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame, but like, what can you do? You know.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a shame. I mean, it's a fucking tragedy, but like, what can you do? It's crazy. So that's it, man. We're up to date. I sat there today and I thought, oh my god, I haven't
free.
got like. Well, yeah, there's part of that, but there's also, oh my god, there's no Marvel film to watch now.
Yeah,
like that's
it. You got TV series though.
Until next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the TV series we're going to go through then. We've got like 2 episodes of Hawkeye to watch, so we'll finish that. We'll do Miss Marvel. We'll do the Hulk one. We'll do all that stuff, but right now, I kind of feel like maybe a little break is in order.
But what do you think? I mean, have you enjoyed this though? Like the whole, I mean, getting into these films, it's been quite a journey because especially with Harry as well. Like he's really dug all this stuff, I know. and that must be great. Like to have gone through that.
I think, the connection I've had with Harry watching these films every week has been great. I think I've come away with it with some characters that I can really get excited about, which is cool. I feel a little bit jaded about what's happened post Endgame. I think about everything leading up to Endgame and just get excited thinking about it. And I think post Endgame, and I think I'm never going to watch any of these films post Endgame again. Like Joe said to me the other day, "Oh, I've not seen Captain America, the first Avenger." And I was like, "Well, we're watching that then, because you got to see that. It's a brilliant film." And I just kind of think I can't see me saying that about, I don't know, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. You know what I mean? It's like I've not got that same reaction.
I don't know. There's a couple of them that I wouldn't mind seeing again, like Shang-Chi. I've seen that several times now, and I really
what am I talking about? Shang-Chi, I would probably watch. Maybe
that, and also
Love and Thunder. I'd absolutely watch again. What
and
the
Spider-Man,
and the Spider-Man one was.
Yeah.
No, maybe not actually. I'd rather watch the Jake Gyllenhaal one.
Yeah.
Huh. But we're done.
Yeah, we are.
And next month or in a month and a half, we're going to the Marvel Hotel. So, I mean, that's like a big deal for us. I've got Marvel socks on and a Marvel t-shirt. I think I'm in. And I'm interested to see. I thought, that's it. I'm done for a while. And then I saw that trailer for Ant-Man. I was like, oh my God, I'm so back in.
Yeah, but now you're going to have the situation where it's just like when there's a new one comes out, you'd be like,
we
might
just
go and
go
watch
straight
that.
Away, yeah.
Yeah, and just go and see it, and it'll be, it's not going to be such an intense part of your life, but I think it's always going to be there now.
Yeah,
as being
I think you're right. Yeah, we're always going to watch the next MCU film, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hope they calm down when the TV shows a bit though.
And then also though, I mean, come on, the hit rate with this has been better than Star Wars.
Well, yeah, but there's been more films. Would I say is that no? I would say I prefer this to the Star Wars stuff because I think, there are more films and there are better films. Like I could watch like the Ragnarok and Love and Thunder over and over again. All the Guardians films I can watch over and over again.
The lows with Star Wars are much lower, I would say, than they are in any of the MCU films.
Oh yeah, totally. Thanks for being my guide.
It's all right. It's been good.
We've come to an end.
Yeah.
And to anyone that's listening to these calls, thank you so much for listening and thank you for getting in touch. Just thanks for all your support. You can, if you want to know more about us, you can go to tcgs.co or you can follow us on Twitter, tcgsco, or our private accounts. I'm at David Turner's and James, you're at JCA Farley.
That's right, yeah.
And get in touch, let us know how you've found the series. If you've enjoyed it, we'd love to hear from you. And until, if you want to hear more of us, then please, wherever you're listening to this, search The Computer Game Show. And there's a weekly video game discussion show with me, James, Matt, and Sean, who were on our Howard the Duck episode. So, but that's it.
Can I ask you to do one last thing before we end this?
Go on.
What is the name of Thor's hammer?
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Yeah, I don't know. Jonathan.
Why have you just said the word Jonathan?
You didn't watch my video, no?
No?
Okay, never mind. Forget it.
What was your video?
No, it was just a link. Forget it. It doesn't matter. Just hang up.
Bye.
Bye.